Afternoon guys, Dom here. Yesterday I posted a little roadmap that I would take a client on if they were willing to work with us, and in that the very first step was start where you're at. Now, I had a conversation this morning with some people and they said, what do you mean by start where you're at? And well, to me it's pretty self-explanatory, but let's just dive in. Starting where you're at. Where are you today? What are you doing? What are you not doing? And why is this important? Well, hey, look, when it comes to the new year, everyone says I'm going to go from zero to hero. I'm going to go from doing jack all, sitting on my date for the day, to I'm going to commit to going to the gym 5 days a week. And inevitably what happens is that happens in week 1, week 2 it dies off, so does week 3, and then after a while it's a, excuse the French, it's a fuck it. I can't even make it 3 times a week. I'm barely going 2, and I've got the motivation to do jack all. I maybe might meet 1. And that's the problem. You see, they haven't started where they are at. Now, let's take an easy example. A rather large, a rather overweight, rather obese individual who has done nothing for quite a fair bit of time. We can all picture that. It might be someone in your family. Hell, it might even be you. At some point, it probably felt like it was someone like me. Just getting up and doing a walk to the back door and back every hour on the hour, as simple as it is, 10 steps forward, 10 steps back, is a good example of starting where you're at. And why is that? Well, because we have controls for everything. We don't get up like we used to do as kids of the 60s and 70s and some of you 80s kids before remote controls come out. We don't get up and walk across and change the channel and sit down and then to be told by dad, hey dickhead, I was watching that, and then you got to go back and change it again. If you've got remote controls for everything, we can turn things on from 6 rooms away. We can make sure that the garage door opens when we're a block away. The reality is, where we are is where we are. So, from me to you, if starting where you're at is, okay, I'm getting around 3 or 4, 5,000 steps a day, I'm going to aim for 6. I'd like you to go to the 10 and 12, but the reality is you're starting where you're at. Now, 3,000 steps, for me, I'll work that out. That's roughly 30 minutes for me on my feet. And why do I know that? It's because I walk my dogs twice a day during the week, and they are 30-minute walks at a pop. And roughly, it's about 3 and 3,500 steps, depending upon the length of my stride and the course that we take. On other days, it's obviously longer, and therefore I get more steps. But I know for me, at that pace, that's roughly what I'm getting in. So, if you are not doing nothing, and you want to start doing something, maybe it's as simple as that. Maybe it starts with you going for a walk with the kids when they get home from school, or after dinner with the family, should that be the case, where you're all together, and do 10 minutes. It might be just a walk around the local block. It can simply help you digest your food. It's a 10-minute distraction from the other distractions, the phones, the tablets, the iPads, the TV. It's 10 minutes out in nature. It's 10 minutes maybe listen to the kids just rabble on about some BS that they did at school, but they're excited about it and they're excited to tell you. It might be 10 minutes where you are literally going to, pardon my French, shut the fuck up and just listen to your partner vent. They'll tell you what their day was like, because no doubt you've had a shit day too, but let them do it. Let them get it off their chest, and then maybe you and they can go for a walk. Maybe starting where you're at is, I'm already doing my walking, Dom, I want to get a little bit stronger. Well, okay, let's pick an exercise or 2 that we can do for 10 minutes. It might be push-ups. I don't care if they're against the wall, down a bit lower, on your knees if you please, or they are full push-ups. It doesn't make a difference to me. But what I want you to do is I want you to maybe do 10 in the first minute. If you finish at 40 seconds, you've got 20 seconds rest. All of us can pretty much squat, because otherwise how the hell do we get to sit down on the throne and take a crap? So therefore squatting might be another one. Lunging might be a thing too, because hey, most of us navigate steps somewhere, somehow, some shape, some form. So now I've got my push movement, I've got my squat movement, I've got my lunge movement, and hell, mate, there's just simply a bend or a hinge, and then there's a horizontal and a vertical press or a pull movement. You can work out what those are. I'm not necessarily going to say do pull-ups, but if you're strong enough, hell, it might just be hang from the bar. Don't have a bar, go out to the pergola at the back, put your hands on it, and simply hang. How long can you get? It might be 2 seconds today. Tomorrow it might be 3. You'll get stronger. You'll squeeze the shoulders back. You retract the scapula, as we say. But eventually you'll get to that minute. Starting where you're at is simply that. It is starting where you are at. Going from 0 to hero, or like the Biggest Loser story, you all see what happens. They all rebound. They all bounce back. There is no amount of reports that show you that, because no one has simply sat down and taught them the tools, the techniques, and the strategies to get through when you have a shit day. And that can be any day ending in D-A-Y. So start where you're at. 10-minute walk. Walk up and down the driveway. A 10-minute workout. Whatever it is, and progress. When you're ready, 1 becomes 2 days. 2 becomes 3, Monday, Wednesday, Friday. 3 becomes 4, Monday, Tuesday, have a break, Wednesday, Thursday, have 2 days break, and whatever, and eventually you will find your new where you are at for the next phase of whatever that is.